Hello, dear friends. It's Carly, and welcome to another episode of the I Learn podcast. I really, have I mentioned that I really appreciate you listening to these because I really enjoy making them. So I thank you for tuning in yet again. And I'm following in kind of a routine from, I recorded the last one last Sunday evening. It's also when I recorded the original episode. I hadn't thought of that until just now. But yeah, the very first episode ever was also recorded on a Sunday evening. So yeah, here we are yet again, meeting on a Sunday evening. Granted, last time I made myself publish it Monday morning, I made myself sleep on it because I felt like I was taking a big step in the last episode to just really relax my guard a lot and, put myself out there on what I feel like is an important point about it doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters how you feel. And, I did it again today, in terms of I recorded myself singing my warm-up song, which I shuffle played and it was different than the one last time. So, and it felt so good, like that's why I love shuffle play. I've learned, that shuffle play is basically the universe giving you the song that you need in any given moment. And today the song was perfect. I really connected to it and to my intention for this podcast in general. I felt like my energy kind of lined up in a really delicious way, really yummy way, a really yummy way. That's what I was going to say. Um, so to tell this next part, I have to share, I got another negative comment, which, being so sensitive to the opinions of others, that's like a whole thing all by itself. But basically, what the person said, like down to the words of it, was basically like, you can't be an astrologer and sell groceries all at the same time. You have to pick one. You can't do that. And I'm like, um, but that's who I am. I'm both of those things and then some. Like, I don't mean to freak you out or overwhelm you, but it's not even just those two things, friend. Like, friend from Pakistan that I've never met before, like taking the time out of his obviously very busy life to make this comment on my thing. But it really got me thinking that, like, he's freaked out that I'm trying to be two things. He doesn't even know the half of it. He really doesn't because, lately I see like all of these different paths blossoming at the same time. And I feel like the wise, like, I don't know, like the advice that you would get normally is to like pick something, focus on it, become a master at it, and that's what you're good at. That's your thing. And once you master something, move on to the next thing. And that focus is really rewarded. And I don't really possess I don't really possess such focus where I could like ever hope to narrow it down to just one thing and be a master at that. Like, I think I would lose my mind. I'd lose my marbles a little bit. Um, I'm more the kind of person that, like, today, like yesterday and today, I went to work at the grocery store that I own. And there's somebody else who manages it now. And I just have to work on the weekends and so that he gets proper time off, which I really love that I'm able to offer that to him because I didn't have that when I was the store manager. Um, so I go 2 days a week to operate the grocery store, and that's a fun opportunity to come face to face with people and have little mini interactions that only ever last a couple minutes. And like a couple hundred of those in a 6 hour time frame. So that's like a fun day, you know? And so for 2 days a week, that's what my life looks like. And then I have 5 other days in the week, you know, most of us do, where now what am I going to do? And how I've filled those 5 days, that has kind of varied. I started having only 2 days at the store and 5 days off last September. So this has only been going on for, you know, however long that is, 8 months or so. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of having 2 days a week at the store, at this one job, at this one environment and situation. And then I have several other situations that I have engaged myself in during these last 8 months or so. And one of those opportunities is to offer extended coaching packages, I guess you could call it. Containers, I think, is the word they use in the coaching world. I've never been trained as a coach. I just have my own experience and how I've learned and grown and made sense of the world. Because trust me, it did not make sense to start out with. I had to work very hard to put the pieces together, but eventually they're together, you know, in a pretty solid fashion, to the point where I feel comfortable teaching other people about their natal charts and how to make sense of that and how to essentially get in the driver's seat of their own energy. You know, I've said it many times. I personally believe that we designed our natal chart ourselves, aka we chose our energy on purpose. So learning, you know, what that energy is and then how to make the most of it, how to use it to your advantage. Those are very, very valuable skills. And one of the paths that I'm getting to walk right now is to engage in that 2 month coaching container with my very first extended client, and to get to plan out these 4 sessions to introduce her to her natal chart and to be having the discussions in between as she has her aha moments and witnessing her through that process. There is something in that that is feeding my soul at a primal level. You know, like deep down in my gut, I feel fed off of that coaching relationship with her. And something tells me, you know, lots of things are telling me at this point that, like, that is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's one of the things that I'm supposed to be doing. So I feel really good about that piece. The other piece that I have going on is this whole like grocery consulting world where it's not even just my grocery store. It's not just Cecil K's. It's any grocery store that is trying to either establish itself or improve its current operations. I have experience in both. And so I got forwarded the opportunity to submit a proposal for these people. They got grant money awarded to them, and now they're looking for people who want to make grocery training materials or host sessions or whatever the person wants to do. And I take the opportunity to submit a proposal that I want to make this set of grocery training materials from the point of, hey, what a crazy idea. Maybe we might want to open a grocery store, all the way through. You have a well-oiled machine. It's been optimized. The profit margin is maxed out to its ability to support itself. Labor is optimized, ordering is optimized, the shelves look fantastic, merchandising is on point, on and on and on. It's running like a well-oiled machine. Money's in the bank, it's proof. So that is the life cycle of a grocery store, and I want to document the entire thing. And lately, nothing else in my world can come close as far as how excited I feel about getting to do that. And yet that's still just one piece of everything that I have going on. Because meanwhile, you know, we're going to set that aside and hop again over to my publishing services, where I am also working with my first publishing client, where He wrote a book a few years ago. He's about 70, I want to say. And he, yeah, wrote a book a few years ago, wants to get it published, doesn't really have any computer skills to speak of. So while I also teach people how to do their own self publishing, he was like, that's great, but what if you just did it for me? And so I created this offering where, yes, I will publish your work for you. And so that it's in your account, you're going to get paid the royalties. It's completely yours, but I'll set it up for you. And so, yeah, working that out with him. And so we went through the process and published his first book. And just this past week, he gave me his second manuscript, which he wrote like 4 decades ago. And that is paper copy only. So we have to start clear at the beginning by typing it, and then we can publish it on Amazon, on and on and on. This is like a whole nother world that, those services are taking on a life of their own and are growing with these people who want help with that. And so like that's something that I never planned that. I thought it would be fun to make my own journals that were exactly what I wanted as an avid journaler. And that, that hobby that was always only ever meant to satisfy my own needs has now turned into a service that I'm able to provide. So that is like a whole nother facet. Oh, there's deer running through the field outside my window. That's really nice. Meanwhile, most of these things, 5 days a week worth, take place from my house, from this place where I have all my plants inside, outside. I've worked really hard on my yard this spring and landscaped a lot of different areas. And oh my gosh, there's so many deer. There goes some more. He's trying to catch up. So there's like 4 big bottom fields outside my window to the south, and then they're lined, all of them, with woods. And yeah, there's deer that go back and forth all the time. I count 4 in this little pack. Yeah, anywho, all of that, all of those examples to go back and say that, because all of that, there's still more. Like as I'm like, okay, so let's wrap that up and move on to the next point. It's like, no, but there's other things that you're doing that you could like add to the list. Okay. Yes, making lists. That's fun. And sometimes I'm just never done with making a list. But all of that to say, I've learned that I'm the kind of person that is gonna need to have like 4 careers happening simultaneously. And that's really the best way that I operate, is to have a lot of irons in the fire, because I get bored very easily. I don't do well with being bored. So when I only have one project or one job, and I get bored with that job, I can and have and used to stir up trouble with that current job, or look a little too hard at that current job, or just, okay, so I explained this the other day to somebody else about Capricorn energy, and how Capricorn energy wants to build every single day. Capricorn energy wants to pick up a hammer, wants to pick up the tools and build something and make something, and like be able to physically see progress every single day, wants to be building something. And most jobs actually don't need you to build something every day. Like most companies or creations or projects or whatever it is, most of those don't need daily effort. In fact, daily effort is counterproductive. And so I've found that I tend to smother things when I don't have enough going on. I need to be able to like, okay, you're just one piece of it. And now here's this other piece and this other piece and this other piece and this other piece. And by the time I get back around to this piece, that's perfect. That's like all the intensity that you need. That's all the, the variety that I need to keep myself stimulated. This is just how I've learned to handle myself and to do some of the maintaining of myself. Like, I realize I'm very high maintenance. I need to be entertained like basically constantly. And so I've learned how to do that for myself versus relying on, like I used to do this to my boyfriends. Like that's probably one of the most embarrassing things about who I used to be is that I was so clingy. I was like the neediest little thing ever because the boyfriend was my whole entire world. And there was nothing else besides the boyfriend. And then at that point, there's no fucking way that the boyfriend is going to be able to provide every single thing that I need. Like, that's just setting us all up for failure right off the bat. So I learned how to, like, my need for stimulation to take it and spread it over many sources. And that as I like, it's basically like juggling. Like what that guy in the mean comment was saying was like, you can only hold one ball. Let's be honest. Like you can't hold two balls at once. Are you crazy? No, you can only hold one ball. And I'm like, dude, I'm juggling eight right now. You have no idea, first of all. And second of all, the fact that you can only hold one ball doesn't mean anything about how many balls I can hold or should be holding. That's the key to all of it, is that I feel like for me, learning my natal chart kind of gave me permission to be this way. To be like, no, I need 24/7 stimulation, basically. Like, as long as I'm awake, I need something that I'm like thinking about mostly, or doing with my hands, or creating, or, like I need to be going most of the time. And for better or for worse, a lot of my life lessons also tend to center around how to relax, how to chill, how to like let go and exhale. And in doing that, I feel like I really found the rhythmic pace of the juggling, of like having the right number of balls and moving them around in a way where I can catch them all and I can throw them, and it's artful in the way I move between each of these things in my possession, each of these outlets for me expressing who I am. And when I accepted that I'm so multifaceted that I could never express everything I am all into one job, like I'm not trying to create the perfect job. I'm trying to create the perfect balance between the right pieces. And I've never felt closer to that. And this morning on my gratitude list, that was like all up in my gratitude list of, I just love where I'm at. I love this mix of things. I love getting to do what I'm doing, all of the different pieces. I love the people I'm supporting. I love the exchange of energy at every turn. The people that I get to come face to face with and the people that I engage with energetically. And this is one of those times in my life I have a feeling that I'm going to remember as like everything was just lined up. Like it just all, the chips fell and it was gorgeous. The pattern that they made on the floor, all haphazardly. Um, yeah, the pieces are coming together and it's super fun to watch. So tomorrow I get to go back to the store. Like I said, I only work Saturday, Sunday, but our weekday team who covers Monday to Friday, they work so hard and they are on my gratitude list almost every single day because without them, I would still be there 7 days a week and I wouldn't have the capacity or the space in my world to be doing all of these other pieces. So, even though they are such hard workers and they do it for the joy of doing it, I genuinely believe. And so their burnout is just, they have a greater stamina and a greater resilience for this day in and day out work that the grocery store is. But I somehow managed to talk them into taking tomorrow off, taking a holiday. Like you get the day off. Um, and so, yeah, I'll be working tomorrow to cover the store so that our weekday crew can have a day off and an extra break to do what they want to do. You know, they're all such dynamic people and they have their own families and their own whole world outside of Cecil K's. And to be able to give a little bit of my time to be able to create that for them to where they can experience more fullness in their lives, more facets of their own world that are important to them, it feels really good. So, yeah. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. And as soon as I can, I'm going to start working on them to get them to take 4th of July Monday off too. Because 4th of July is on a Sunday. You know, how much of a jip is that? You know, the banks, they're taking Monday off, and everybody else, like, hopefully you get Monday off, July 5th, to honor the holiday, our independence. Yeah. So, anywho, happy, happy Sunday night / Monday morning / whenever you're listening to this. Sending you all kinds of good vibes. Sending you well wishes for radical self-acceptance and radical gratitude for the life that you get to wake up into every morning. I'll see you on the next one.